Southeast Asia is comprised of several small nations, many of which inhabit the countless islands that extend southward from the continent toward Australia. Nestled on the mainland between Burma, Cambodia, and Laos, Thailand is about twice the size of Wyoming, and through centuries of colonialism remains the only Southeast Asian country never to have been taken over by a European power. Known as Siam until 1939, Thailand has been a kingdom since the 14th century. But despite its long history and deep-rooted Buddhist traditions, in the early 90s the country enjoyed the fastest growing economy in the world. This has resulted in modern cities like the capital, Bangkok, that are designed and paved with commerce in mind, but which, like many U.S. cities, can easily be mistaken for giant metropolitan skate parks.
First day there, we drove down to the beach, a beach town called Hua Hin. It's south of Bangkok. It was a beautiful beach. Nice warm water, nice sandy beaches. Basically, Jeff and Mr. O hooked up the rental van with Sheep, was our driver. In Thailand, whenever you rent a car, it comes with a driver automatically.
They're minivans there, actually mini times two van. It's one of those Asian things, I guess. I think we're about to kill each other in that van.
First whole day we got there, went to a restaurant, and outside the restaurant there's all these wild monkeys, probably like wild dogs, what it'd be like back home. It's the first time I've ever seen monkeys out of like a cage or in a zoo or anything, and they were just coming up to us and eating out of our hand and stuff, and they're pretty dirty looking though. I mean, we were all psyched to see them, but at the same time everyone was scared of them. No one really wanted to get too close to them, just knows what they're going to do, and they had huge fangs, just hiss at you.
Monkeys there are just ruthless. I know when we went to the monkey temple, like Plahowski would buy so many bags of bananas and monkeys were just following them around and they would just come up and start tugging them on the leg like they just wanted a banana. Fat monkeys, skinny monkeys, there's all kinds. Monkeys suckling off of their mom. It's just monkey heaven there. It's crazy.
Well, the same day we seen those monkeys, we were eating at this restaurant, just seen some stairs. There's like, I don't know, 6 stairs like into a little slant. We were just bored, we were just skating around. They were just blown away. The skateboards, like, they'd never seen anything like that before. Something that would never ever happen back home, never. The first temple we went to was the first Buddha temple I've ever been to. It was pretty sick. You know, you look at it from the outside, you don't realize all the work it takes to put into these temples. You get up close to them and they're all hand carved and filled with pearl and all these kinds of crazy things. And
I just remember going and you had to take your shoes off. I think you were supposed to take your hat off and I didn't realize that, and it was kind of awkward altogether. Just a huge temple and just super intricate carvings everywhere.
I think Jake Rupp got really psyched, doing some yoga, meditating in there, just old Buddhist monks in there. They had to be like 150 years old, like they were just so old. And me and Fabrizio got these little bracelets that this old monk just put on our wrists and haven't taken them off since because just think it's going to be bad luck to like take it off. At the temple there's a little marketplace.
These markets are just crazy. They had everything that we have here, but it'd be bootleg.
Bag drinks were kind of crazy because I just remember wanting a bottle, but then I tried to keep the bottle and they were going to charge me for it or something, so we'd be stuck walking around with like a sandwich bag with Coke in it or something and straws. It's pretty ridiculous, but that was like everywhere you went because they need to save the bottles for money, I guess.
We were at like a beach spot and just friendly Jake just walks up to some Thai girls and stuff and just starts playing on his flute and stuff, some Jake tunes.
Such a weird scene. Nobody could talk to each other, and Jake's just like rocking out. And they were all so stoked.
They're kind of blown away that how friendly he was, because he was American and stuff. Waterfalls is like some kind of park or something.
I remember just hiking. I think we thought it was real close, and I brought my camera bag. Jungle hike from hell.
Like all these waterfalls and springs and stuff would just run down this river, and it was pretty cool. Like all these families would come out, and it was like Central Park in New York City, like all these Thai families hanging out. There's all these crazy little butterflies that would just hover around and hang on top of the water, like millions of them. They just climb around the water, and you just couldn't really go in the water over there.
And I think there was some guy spearfishing too in the pool or something. It was pretty crazy. But I remember we were just hanging out there and elephants just showed up. Like some dudes riding elephants like right above us on some rock. It was crazy.
Okay, so there's this thing called Sokran. It's a week long. It's like their New Year's bash thing, and everybody just goes out and basically super soaks things. And it's a huge water war. Where we were was in Chiang Mai, and that's like the main part of it because there's a big canal that runs through it.
It's just a water fight, and everybody's involved, and nothing is off limits. Like if you drive by with your window rolled down, it's your own fault, basically.
Just you go around riding back of pickup trucks and stuff, and people are just squirting everybody with water, and everyone was super psyched to get us because we're a bunch of Americans and white kids, blasted right in the face when you weren't looking. Or people would have like a bucket of cold ice water. They'd have these tubes and they just suck it up. It's freezing water and just blast it into your face. And it was so much fun. You didn't get mad about it, you know what I mean? And you'd have like little wars with different cars and stuff as you're driving around. And if it was to happen back home, I mean, people would be beat up and killed like all over the streets. But it was in Thailand, and everyone was super happy, with a good attitude, and their way of celebrating. It was pretty sick, dude. It was definitely the most fun I had in Thailand.
There's a street in Bangkok, main street there. Man, there's all kinds there. Just weird people, like big afros, all kinds of style. Whole lot going on that street.
We went to this restaurant, like a festival going on.
I don't even know what they were doing. They would fry up these vegetables, and then someone would have to get up on this big like lifeguard stand, and they would huck the vegetables at you from like 30 feet away. And the tourists would all go do it, and they made you wear like a crazy hat with vegetables all over it when you did it. And Jake was as always, the only one that did it. Only one that ate bugs, only one that did like all types of stuff.
Basically, Thailand's had 3 capitals and Bangkok's the 3rd one. I think in the last couple hundred years, Bangkok became the capital, and we went to the one that was prior to Bangkok. And that was amazing, just seeing all the ruins. I mean, they're pretty well preserved considering that another country came in and invaded.
I don't even know how old that stuff is, but it's got to be like a couple thousand years old. And just all these ruins of temples, and it was like a huge complex. I remember there was one stone Buddha that was like 50 or 60 feet high or something that was in there.
Everyone did their thing for like 3 or 4 hours.
And we rented bikes and rode them around there. We went and rented the scooters, and Fabrizio didn't want to rent one because he said he'd seen too many accidents on them in Brazil. We were driving around for like a day or something, and then I wanted to take photos, so I got on the back of Kenny's and Fabrizio took mine. He just like sped off, and I wasn't even paying attention. I just heard Kenny say, "Oh shit," and I looked over and saw Fabrizio just like tumbling like really far, going really fast into the side of the road.
I just saw a mangled knee, a mangled arm, and Fabrizio unable to skate.
And the hospital was crazy. The doctor, he was like an old dude in a sweaty wife beater that had holes all up in it. We were just hanging out while they were stitching him up. That was crazy. It was like the craziest hospital I've ever been to.
You ever gonna get a motorcycle?
No more. I gotta shoot the kid. No more motorcycles in my life. See what happened? You see what happened? This is what happened. No more.
There's so much history and culture there, and it's just a great experience to be there and see everything.
Thank yous, Mr. O and Jeff. I mean, without those guys, it would have been a real different experience. They like hooked it up. I mean, we got to see stuff that regular tourists probably don't get to see. Sheep, just because that guy was like the best driver. That and just like the skaters there. All the skaters we met were super cool.
We'll be coming back soon. Thanks from Thailand. Thank you, Thailand.
About 6 times the size of Washington, D.C., Hong Kong buzzes with the ultra-modern architecture and the bustle typical of a densely populated Asian city. But situated on the southern tip of the world's most populated country, Hong Kong is anything but a typical Asian city. A former English colony, Hong Kong has been an economic powerhouse in Asia since the 19th century. A center for banking, manufacturing, and trade under the British, the territory has been administered by China since 1997. And despite China's hardline socialist government, the free market system that has made the tiny city-state an economic world power has been preserved. Today, Hong Kong is the world's 9th largest trading economy, on par with Europe's leading powers. Needless to say, all of this adds up to one of the most modern cities in the world, with way too much going on to bother a bunch of skaters dropping in from the US to have a look around.
It was all Vern's idea. Vern lined it up, brought us all tickets.
That's how all the trips come about. One person had this idea, and then people just like kind of tag along.
I was just initially trying to get a skate trip. Ricky Oyola, Damian Smith, Cairo Foster, Kenny Reed, and Elias Bingham were the skaters.
Warren was the ultimate tour guide.
Hung definitely came through for us. Daryl was more or less the nightlife guy. Jonathan Maring went to go shoot an article for Slap, and I went to film for 411 around the world.
So we were there for Chinese New Year, for Year of the Horse. Not quite like New Year's here, it's more of a family thing. Everyone goes to their families and chills out.
You know, where our apartment was right across the water. It was amazing because all the fireworks were right on the harbor, so we got like the perfect view.
During the fireworks display, there was all kinds of boats coming out in the bay. Just from every direction, boats were coming. It seems like there's police boats like following everyone around to kind of regulate the situation.
After the fireworks display, all the boats kind of just jammed out of there really quick.
It was like all the rubberneckers in Los Angeles when they see an accident, because the traffic will just come to a complete stop, and then right when they pass the accident, they'll just slam on the gas and get back to 80 miles per hour. That's how it was. Like, fireworks are done, and the bay is just cleared out within 15 minutes.
We We were probably the only ones like celebrating it, thinking it was like a big party, and then we realized we were the only ones out partying. But we had a good time. Everyone shops for New Year's. It's when people give presents, and there's people out shopping till like 2 in the morning.
The New Year actually it lasted like a couple days. It wasn't just one day. You know, but one of the last days we did go to that little town where we saw a dragon dance. It was pretty cool. We kind of followed him around the streets for a little while. It's just unique. It's not like our New Year's where it's 1 minute and it's over.
Hong Kong, I think, is one of the most crowded cities I've ever been to, no matter what time of day it is. And it kind of made it hard to skate a lot of places just because there's so many people. They're just so rude, like right on you, like bumping into you. There's no such thing as personal space there.
Hong Kong has got some crowded streets. You can't even walk down the street at night. It gets even crazier late at night, actually, it seems like. And everyone's talking on the phone. Everyone has a cell phone.
I think it was extra crowded because it was the New Year. People everywhere, and you're about like 1.5 feet taller than everybody.
When we went on the train, we'd pass this graveyard a lot. It just went on forever.
Just the headstones looked so sick. I would have liked to have gone closer to it to check it out. I don't even know how you dig a grave on the side of a mountain.
Every time I tried to take a photo, man, I couldn't never get it. People in my way or just zoom by too fast.
Architecture there is pretty modern. It's just basically skyscrapers everywhere you look. Business, financial district type looking buildings.
Everything is high-rises there. It's crazy. It makes New York look like a small city. People probably just spend their whole life in one building because it seems like there's everything. Supermarkets, school, and everything for like each building or each building complex. Definitely one of the craziest parts about it.
It's a really developed city and similar to Western cultures.
There was a lot of security at all the spots, and you're trying to reason with these guys and they just don't even understand you or want to understand you, so you're just getting kicked out, going back, getting kicked out. It's kind of like being anywhere in California.
I've been considered a smart mouth, now is that such a bad thing? Cause I'm not always in a good mood without the use of caffeine. I don't subscribe to rap and life to display the smiling handshakes. No politics, I live and write shit under a bloodstained lampshade. To stay wired, word I stay higher, got better drugs and choice. Music is the best, if I could I would inject the noise. God's got a heart on for the people, cause we send them seats to heaven like fucking around with dirty news. I mean naps and stuff. What the fuck you doing in the first place? Kinda hard to get back. You need your lid smacked if you're trying to get with these quacks. Not about the violence and the polish of degrees and stereotypes. They not like some aerial MCs. Sponsored by the corporate monster, aka the label makers. Cause they will make you famous and they'll sell out all your concerts. Start your fan base with one good girl and horny man cakes. Little planet by the ass and you think you're on, sir. Through a ring of fire, swim through pits of gators, lava sizzles from my saliva wide as fuck. If it ain't broke, then don't attempt to fix it. Tell me, by the way, the ghosts that I saw look like they were people blurry.
One of the great sights of the Hong Kong area is the largest Buddha statue in the world, which is also a Buddhist temple.
Buddha statue was pretty sick because you could see it so far off in the distance. You just really have no idea how big it is until you're there.
This involved a train ride to a bus ride.
You just gotta walk up like 1,000,000 stairs to get to it, and then you're standing at the base of it, and it still seems so huge and magnificent. Surrounding the Buddha statue, there's all these other smaller statues, like people throw in coins for good luck or prosperity or long life. You have to get the coin into the tray. And Damien missed and had no coins, and he tried to like grab some of his coins he already threw in, and someone grabbed him and was like, "Oh, you can't do that, 'cause that's bad luck right there." He would have probably had the worst luck for the rest of his life.
Aside from all the tourists, it was just really calm and beautiful, just filled with trees. It was just real mellow. Looked nice.
The only part that was not near buildings, and it's nice to get away and go there.
So we're on this bus, and Oyola's like, "Holy shit, look at this perfect ditch over there."
When we saw it, it looked like it had like so much potential, man. It had all these banks going down it.
Right in the middle had this 4-foot wide little stream running. The only problem was about every 4 or 5 feet was a 2 or 3 inch hole, and so the whole place was just scattered with these holes that were just big enough for your wheel to go into.
The ditch was rugged. The ground was just straight sandpaper, and when you went down, you lost a couple layers of skin. Damien went down a lot. He made a lot of good stuff, but he also took a lot of good slams.
Ricky found this bar. It was like some piece of a railing. After hours of work, we secured the bar across the stream with rocks and made a pretty good obstacle.
Turned out to be amazing. I mean, you know, I got broke and I could only skate, but I mean, for the sake of Damien got a lot of good stuff there that day.
Yeah, I'd love to go back. Definitely recommend going there for anyone who hasn't been.
It was amazing to be there for the New Year, to see that, to be a part of it.
Just like to thank Joe Brook and Mark Wiley at Slap.
Hung, Jimmy, Daryl, Warren, and Brian for being such good hosts, and hope we could do this again.
Across the Pacific from Asia, the South American nation of Ecuador spins along the Earth's middle longitude with a virtually unwavering year-round climate that is hot and humid. A little bigger than Nevada, the territory of Ecuador includes the famous Galapagos Islands, where naturalist Charles Darwin developed his theory of evolution. With a turbulent political past, coupled with frequent earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, Ecuadorians are accustomed to disruptions of both the man-made and natural kind. So when a bunch of pros showed up to get their skate on along the Earth's midriff, they found they had to adapt to much more than corruptible security guards and iguanas in the park.
It was awesome to just travel with good people. Felix, Joel, Kenny, Danny. Everyone in Ecuador took good care of us and really made sure that we felt at home.
Basically, it was third world craze, but it felt like family because the crew was proper. Everyone got along, there was no drama, and it reminded me a lot of home as far as like the humbleness and like the warm welcomes, the food.
Never fails. I get by with a little help from my friends.
All right, let me get line now. one day it'd be hot and humid, and then out of nowhere the same day, maybe within hours, it'll rain cat and dogs, where like telephone poles are like sparking off, and like you're in like a flood. Ecuador is one of the poorest countries, I think, in the whole entire world. Flying to Ecuador, and I'm like, I thought I ended up on another planet.
It was basically roughing it.
Third world.
It was third world craze.
We did a lot of skating in and out of downtown, but when you were downtown, you saw a lot of it was really evident how poor everybody was and stuff like that. And kids hanging around. McDonald's was like, they were like kind of like dogs in heat when you walked out of there, and all they could say was like, dame la cola, dame la cola. That's like, give me your soda. The skate spots are pretty grimy, and it's pretty gritty out there, but there's always diamonds in the rough. And what sticks out in my mind is Kenny's lawnmower line. That is just too much for the brain cells right there. Just lawnmowering right through into the lip slide right after that. It was really hot.
That was the raddest park I ever went to. We just went to some random, just this park. It was like an iguana park.
It was like Iguana Plaza. I don't know, it was crazy. Like, it was fenced off in the middle of downtown, and that's where like all the iguanas would chill. They wouldn't even leave that area. It was just like a fenced off area, and like there was a grip of iguanas just like walking around. It was funny. Shot some photos. Richie was getting down with the iguanas, like, I don't know, getting crazy now. You like that? Yeah.
De Guayaquil. We gotta grease the guards all the time, give them a couple of bucks. Sometimes, give them like anywhere between like $2 to $5, and they usually let us skate like all night, all day, whatever, as long as our session lasts.
I'm sure like out there it might be probably like an eye for an eye, as far as like, if you get caught slipping, you know what I mean, and someone kills you out there, like a guard kills you, they're not gonna go through the whole like judicial thing, you're just dead.
Beckos organized like this demo for like the last day. He has like a skate park over this overhang, and the last day we kind of hyped it up so that we would skate like kind of like a demo. Kids were going crazy like over anything, any kind of like shirt or stickers. Everyone just got attacked when everyone started throwing stickers, like, because it's so poor there, like poverty is pretty thick there, so they were just on anything they can get their hands on, they were just psyched, and it was pretty dope because it was just all everyone just having fun, like just not really like they were just appreciated that we were there, and it was dope. I don't know, overall I had a good time with Felix and his boys from Ecuador and the crew that went. Proper crew. Let's reunite this and do it again. What?
With the great misfortune of being located directly between the once rival empires of Russia to the north and Germany to the south, Poland's history is one of invasion, destruction, partition, and ultimately liberation and reconstruction. For most of last century, Poland was a satellite country of the Russian-dominated Soviet Union, which helped it rebuild after the German invasion and devastation of World War II. Slightly smaller than New Mexico, Poland was almost completely rebuilt in the last half of the 20th century. As a modern socialist state, Poland was decorated with the granite and marble architecture typical throughout Eastern Europe. Finally winning independence in the 1980s, the old socialist monuments were suddenly devalued as national treasures, and Poland became a huge state-sponsored skate park. For a population that had struggled for centuries to gain the right of self-expression, it was finally theirs.
Well, the trip was put together by Slap Magazine, Joe Brook. He told me he wanted to get a bunch of Polacks together to go back to the motherland in Poland.
So we're flying from San Francisco to Warsaw, which is right here. And then we're going to travel around all around Poland this way and make our way back to Warsaw and then fly home.
I really didn't know what to expect. As I was flying in, I was thinking in my head, like, wow, this kind of looks like Ohio, to tell you the truth.
We flew into Warsaw and it was all Polish skaters. It was Christian Svitek, Stefan Janoski, Aaron Suski, Ed Salego, Justin Strubing, and Mike Rusick.
One thing I kind of liked about it was kind of rough, like kind of a little more of a roughneck type place. You definitely, I kind of definitely felt like, you know, you got to kind of watch your back walking around, you know.
We went there, we didn't know what there was to skate. We were just going out there and punking it. And we went out there and there was amazing spots.
But it was really modern. There was a lot of marble, a lot of nice buildings. We immediately saw stuff that was skatable. We immediately saw, you know, good spots.
There was definitely a language barrier, definite language barrier.
I don't understand.
Lots of pretty girls. And really good food. I like the food, and I think not everybody liked it. I think the vegetarians had a lot of trouble trying to find food.
I mean, it really reminded me of Prague. That was the only Eastern European country that I'd been to before. It didn't seem too different from the rest of Europe at all, you know?
I don't know, there's something inside me now that I feel like I need to go back there, and I probably will continue going back there as much as I can throughout the rest of my life.
You know what, we had so much fun and we skated the best spots. And that's what it comes down to. We had so much fun. I don't know, you gotta just get out there and do it, man. You only live once. Live it up. See the world.
Polish, baby.
Somebody, somewhere, a fever pushing 103. Somebody, some detention makes a scholar. It's a fever, pushing 103. Somebody, somewhere. Somebody, somewhere, made a man's with my attention. It's just attention. Some call it hard to take. Some call it assassination.
Pretty much all the skate spots were marble or like granite, and the place that we went to with the hubba, these people built this building and it was amazing to skate. Perfect ledges off stairs, hubbas, like it was insane. So if you're ever in Warsaw, check it out.
Every time me and Justin try to go, some pole lock gets in the way. But you know what? I'm gonna do this right now. As soon as this other pole lock gets on the way.
Everything's been done here. There's nothing left to do, so it's time to move on. We're gonna, I guess, go check out a double set, and then we're gonna go down to Krakow, and hopefully we won't have any rain down there and get some more stuff.
After skating all day, those guys were pretty much done skating and we were about to wrap it up. It was getting dark, and this German Shepherd comes out of nowhere, starts taking a dump on my Flash. So I'm freaking out, like I don't want a dog to take a shit on my Flash, you know? So I'm like yelling at the dog and stuff. I can't really remember like the whole situation, but it was really funny.
We started off in Warsaw, now we're in Katowice.
So we're skating this big, long hubba ledge spot, and next thing I know, I hear like this.
Oh my God.
And all of a sudden, I see this kid just cartwheeling in the air. I think he went over like the top of the car and then onto the side, and then it looked like the car ran him over.
Who was it? Oh my God.
This is one of the kids that was skating with one of the locals. This guy just got worked, and the paramedics come and they just like lift him up onto his feet. They didn't like, you know how here in the United States you go on a stretcher and they stabilize you. They were just like, oh, you're all right, then stand up or whatever. It was so crazy.
So we're skating this church. We see this block off stairs, and Street Tech front boards it, no problem. Stefan no slides it easily, starts getting in the back tail, and priest comes out, starts saying something, and we're like, we felt that Stefan had it right there, so we didn't really say anything. You know, pleaded, we didn't know what was going on.
Next thing you know, the guy comes running out, pushing Stefan against the wall, and we're all tripping out like, oh no, you know. So we run over there,
and they were like, where are your papers? Like the cops were like, you know, whatever. But then once he realized we really were from America, he turned 180 degrees around. He was like, oh, I've been to Chicago, you know, I really like America, it's great, do you like our city? I hope you enjoy Warsaw. It ended on a really cool note, but for a hot second, man, it was pretty sketcy. And Stefan, like the mellowest dude, like he got the worst end of it. So
Poland, man, I leave ski when they tell me to.
we were traveling through Poland, we realized that we were close to Auschwitz, one of the concentration camps during World War II. So a few of us really wanted to go, so we made it a point to wake up really early on the one day and go there and check it out. It was just crazy driving through the countryside of Poland, and you know that you're going to the most horrible place on earth. And then you go to the first part of the camp where you see all the shoes and all the prosthetic limbs and all the stuff they took away from the people when they came to the camp.
Like we went through where they held all the people and stuff, and it was basically just bricked buildings, dirt floors, and wooden kind of like bunk beds, but wide. So I think maybe 5 or 6 people would sleep per bunk. It was like a sunny, beautiful day and everything, but I mean, it was just sad.
And then you have to go and drive to the main part of the camp, which is Birkenau. And all of a sudden we crossed over these railroad tracks. I knew it, and I immediately turned to the right, and there it was.
And we drove up, and it was tons of barbed wire fence, and all the concentration camp, like the wooden cabins.
It was even crazier because you go to certain parts and there's photos. One of the most horrible ones I saw was these women holding their children in their arms, and you're standing there right where they were, and you're looking at a photo of these women and these little kids, and these were their last moments of life that you're looking at right where you're standing. One of the things that really tripped me out was you can actually walk down the stairs into where the gas chambers were. Like, I just kept thinking in my head, like, I'm walking down these stairs that millions of people walked down and never came out. It makes everything so real. You go through your daily life like doing all these things, and you hear about horrible things on the news, or you read about World War II in the books or whatever, and when you go there, it makes everything a reality. It's real. It's still there.
I'm glad I saw it. It's just unbelievable that happened in that area. When you're standing there and you're like, this happened so many years ago, you can't believe it. You can't believe that happened.
Did you see that? He did like the highest jump and slammed it onto the other side. That. Oh.
What is that stuff?
Fish balls. Best balls I ever had.
Very, very young, huh? Very young, very handsome, very energetic too.
It ain't working yet.
What did I tell you about taking the camera off me, bro? Don't fucking do that when I'm talking.
Oh, sorry. I'm just like getting away, just rolling, not paying attention. Sorry.
Straight, dude, straight Rhea. 2 times here, 2 days, straight Rhea.